What if I told you there might be a second sphinx buried under the sand? Yeah, this isn't just some random conspiracy theory either. New scans from March of 2026 are making people question everything. Researchers claim they found a massive underground structure near the Great Sphinx of Giza. And get this, it might be as tall as 108 feet. They say it mirrors the shape of the original Sphinx, and it's surrounded by a network of underground shafts and tunnels. So it wasn't just found by digging, it showed up through imaging and radar scans. And here's where it gets weird. The Dreamsville might have hinted at this thousands of years ago, and we just ignored it. But before you go crazy, this hasn't even been peer-reviewed yet, and nobody's actually out there digging it up. So either we discovered one of the greatest secrets in human history, or we're just completely misunderstanding what these scans are showing. But if there really is a second Sphinx, what else have we missed? What if I told you that one machine could literally change reality, and they just turned it back on? I'm talking about CERN, home of the most powerful machine ever built, the Large Hadron Collider. The thing literally smashes particles together at nearly the speed of light. This basically recreates conditions from right after the Big Bang. And every time it powers up, the internet starts freaking out. Some people think it could even open portals. Others say it can mess with reality itself, even triggering things we don't fully understand. But in reality, it's already helped discover things like the Higgs boson particle, a particle that helps explain why everything has mass. And now it's running again, pushing to even higher energy levels than before. So yeah, it's either unlocking the secrets of the universe, or people are worried it might unlock something entirely different. But if that's true, why does it keep getting more powerful? AI might have just exposed itself and people are starting to notice. A massive leak just revealed how one of the most advanced AI system actually works. I'm talking about Claude, built by Anthropic. Over 500,000 lines of code just got leaked. And that's not even the craziest part. Researchers have also found vulnerabilities where hackers can take control of your system without you even clicking a thing. And now people are asking, if AI is getting this powerful this fast, are we actually ready for it? Because this isn't just one issue, this is happening more and more. So yeah, AI might be advancing faster than we can control it. NASA is about to do something we haven't seen in decades. And this time, it's different. They're launching under the Artemis program with the goal of sending humans back to the moon. But this is not a quick trip like before. They're planning on building a long-term presence. This could be something that changes how we explore space for forever. And if this works, it's not stopping at the moon. This could be a real first step towards sending humans to Mars. But the problem is, this mission comes with lots of risk and a lot of things that have to go right. Because this isn't just another launch, this could decide the future of space travel for forever. There's a pink moon happening on April 13th, but it's not what people think. Yeah, it's called the pink moon, but it's not actually pink. This is April's full moon. The name actually comes from early spring flowers, not the color of the moon itself. But depending on where you are, it can actually look red or slightly orangish when it rises. It's also one of the brightest full moons of the whole year. So this makes it definitely worth seeing. Just don't expect it to be actually bright pink, because the name makes it sound way crazier than it actually is, but it's still one of the best full moons of the year to catch, and it's going to be on April 13th, so check it out. NASA has officially launched a mission back to the moon for the first time in over 50 years. This is Artemis II. It's a big deal. This is a 10-day mission. This will send astronauts further from Earth than since the Apollo era, but they're not landing on the moon. The plan for right now is just to fly around it, traveling over 250,000 miles from Earth in a deep space test mission. During those 10 days, they'll test life support systems, navigation, and spacecraft performance. Basically, everything needed for future missions. They'll also fly past the far side of the moon and collect data for future missions. Because this mission isn't the goal. Setting up for the next step, putting humans on the moon again. And if this works, Mars is next. Scientists in the UK are now talking about dimming the sun. And yes, that does sound like something out of Snowpiercer. But this is actually being studied in real life. The idea is called solar geoengineering. This is basically the act of reflecting some of the sun away from Earth. The goal with this is to try and slow down global warming. If you've seen Snowpiercer, you know how badly messing with the climate can go. And that's why people are divided on this topic. Some people see it as a potential solution. Others think it could have effects that we can't fully predict. So the question is, should we even try something like this? Something just happened between March 30th and April 2nd. It could affect GPSs and satellites. A powerful solar flare just hit Earth. Between March 29th and the 30th, the sun released a Class X solar flare. This is one of the strongest types of solar flare. And now for March 31st until April 2nd, we are seeing geomagnetic storm conditions. And this doesn't just affect the sky. These storms can interfere with GPS, satellite signals, and communications all over the world. But most people wouldn't even realize that it's happening. But there is something good that's coming out of it at the same time. It could make the northern lights visible in some places that would never normally see them. A 14-year-old has just made it onto a governor election ballot. Yeah. Only 14. This is happening in Vermont. Here's the crazy part. Vermont does not have a minimum age requirement for their governor. So he's able to form his own political party and actually qualify for the general election ballot, which means he's not just trying, he's actually in the race. And now people are asking, should there even be an age limit or should they add one? A NASA administrator said that there's about a 90% chance we could find life on Mars. But there's a catch. This is only possible if we actually bring the samples back from Mars. Right now, rovers like Perseverance are collecting rocks that could contain samples that prove that there was ancient life. But they can't confirm anything from Mars. Scientists need to get these samples back to Earth to test to confirm for sure. So the real question is, what happens when we finally bring them back? Over 400,000 F1 Kit Kats were just stolen. A shipment of limited edition Kit Kats moving from Poland to Italy was just robbed in a normal delivery. But somewhere along the route, the entire truck disappeared. But here's the crazy part. Each batch of Kit Kats has a traceable product code, meaning if it is sold anywhere, it can be traced back to this exact heist. So we're talking about 12 tons of chocolate and over 400,000 bars were stolen. While they still have not been recovered, someone out there is going to be eating stolen Formula One Kit Kats for Easter. Artemis II just sent back their first photos of Earth, and they look unreal. These photos were taken from the Orion spacecraft. These photos were taken from the Orion spacecraft as it plans to travel further from Earth than humans have ever gone. And somehow these photos still made it back despite the crew having 2 Microsoft Outlooks open, and neither one were working at the time. And this is the first time since Apollo that astronauts are seeing the Earth like this. So, sum it up, these photos are amazing. Outlook? Yeah, still sucks. As of today, April 4th, 2026, wildfires are spreading fast in California. A fire's just broken out in Riverside County, and within hours it started to grow rapidly. By this week, strong winds, gusting up to about 50 miles an hour, have been pushing the flames across thousands of acres. Evacuations are already having to happen, and crews are having to deal with steep terrain and unpredictable conditions. And this is the type of fire that can change direction in seconds. And that's what makes it so dangerous. According to CAL FIRE, the fire is only about 10% contained right now. And the question is, do you think fires like these are getting worse every year? On April 3rd, 2026, President Donald Trump pushed something that could change college sports for forever. He signed an executive order aimed at limiting NCAA athletes to 1 transfer and a 5-year playing window. Right now, the transfer portal has completely changed college athletics because players can move more freely than ever, but this order would push a different direction. Players would receive 1 penalty-free transfer, and after that, a player would have to sit out. Schools that don't follow it could risk losing their federal funding. And here's the wild part. Legal experts are already saying this could get challenged in court. So what do you think? Is this fixing college sports, or is this just controlling the players more? Right now, there are humans who are closer to the moon than they are the Earth. The Artemis II crew has officially passed the halfway point. This means that they're now actually closer to the moon than they are the Earth. The spacecraft is now over 150,000 miles away from Earth. They are traveling on a path that hasn't been flown by humans in over 50 years, and it's moving fast. With only about 48 hours left before they actually reach the moon, they'll soon be entering their free return trajectory, meaning the moon's gravity will actually swing them around and send them back towards Earth. They'll actually even travel hundreds of miles past the moon, further than any human has gone from Earth. So what do you think? Would you take this trip to the moon? They just turned lead into gold and nobody is talking about it. At CERN, inside the Large Hadron Collider, scientists have pulled off what alchemists failed to do for centuries. They weren't just mixing chemicals. They were firing lead atoms at over 99.9% the speed of light. They were letting the atoms barely miss each other. That near miss creates insane electromagnetic energy, so powerful it literally knocks the protons out of the atom and turns lead into gold. Yeah, real gold. But here's the catch. It only exists for a fraction of a second before it instantly breaks apart again. What's even crazier is they made 86 billion atoms of gold. After all of that, it still weighs basically nothing, not even enough for a speck of jewelry. So yeah, humanity has finally turned lead into gold, but it cost a particle collider the size of a city. A meteor has just crashed through somebody's house in Texas. On Saturday, March 21st, 2026, a fireball lit up the sky over Houston. Then people heard a loud boom. NASA later confirmed it was a meteor about a ton in size breaking up in the atmosphere. But here's where it gets crazy. One woman was walking inside her home when she found a hole in her ceiling, damage in her floor, and a rock sitting inside. Meaning a piece of that meteor may have made it all the way down and into her house. So yeah, imagine sitting at home and a rock from space just comes smashing through your roof. China's trying to beat the US back to the moon. This is happening right now. China's planning to land multiple astronauts on the moon by 2030 and not just visit. They want to build a permanent moon base. We're talking about habitats, research stations, and even using the moon as a launching point for further missions. And they're already in development of everything. New rockets, spacecrafts, lunar landers, and even rovers. And after the first landing, the plan is to build a full international lunar research station by 2035. Meanwhile, the US is trying to return to the moon by 2028, which means this is turning into a real space race. So yeah, the question now isn't if we go back to the moon, it's who gets there first. Humans are now deeper in space than they've been in over 50 years. The Artemis II crew is now over 2/3 of the way to the moon. They're about to become the furthest humans have ever traveled from Earth as they prepare to pass behind the moon. This moment will cause a complete blackout, no communications with Earth at all. And while this is happening, they're already capturing never before seen views of the moon's far side. This mission is literally testing if humans can safely go back to the moon. So yeah, right now, 4 people are heading deeper into space than anyone has ever been. Scientists have just found fossils that change our understanding of when complex life began. We might have been wrong this whole time. In China, researchers discovered hundreds of fossils dating back 540 million years. But these weren't simple life forms. They already had body symmetry, movement, and features seen in modern animals. It may have started millions of years earlier than we ever thought. So yeah, this could rewrite the timeline on how the Earth evolved. So what else do you think that we got wrong?